awesome students. So this is recording for Reading Strategies Day 2. Make sure you take some notes and pause the video when it asks you to. Hello, everyone. I've been reading and exercising at the same time all morning. I'm so tired. Does somebody ask why? Oh, that's because I'm trying to be an active reader. If you thought that's a little weird, well, you were right, because active reading has nothing to do with exercise, but instead using strategies to critically interact with the text. There is actually a really simple acronym to help us achieve an active role while reading. And lucky for you, it's super easy to remember. ACTIVE. A is for asking questions. C is for making connections. T is for tracking down important information. I is for inference and prediction. V is for visualizing. And E is for evaluating and synthesizing. Today we will focus on asking questions and making connections. Okay. But before we get into some reading and I explain what we're going to practice today, let's address the elephant in the room. I would like for you to think about these 3 questions. So pause the video. Think about, why do we read? How do we get ready to read? Let's first address the first question. Why do we read? You might have answered to learn, to entertain yourself, or let's look at this pizza example. Yummy. So to order a pizza, you have to read a menu. Reading a menu is an example of reading. There might not be any characters. Well, maybe a little cherry tomato saying order pizza, but there's certainly no story. So for the sake of this reading strategy unit, we will read texts that are for entertainment today. Okay, back to our scheduled reading. The first letter of active is A. It stands for asking questions. When we read, we ask questions and we answer them as we read more of the text. Questions usually start with who, what, when, where, why, and how. There are 2 types of questions, thick and thin questions. You can ask questions before, during, or after you are reading. For example, before you read, you might ask, who will be in this story? Or what will happen? While reading, you might ask, how are the characters feeling? After you read, you might ask, what would happen if the story continued? Another way you can be asking questions during reading is when you encounter terms or vocabulary that you might not understand, or phrases that confuse you. You can highlight, underline, or circle them to help you find them later. When something is really confusing, I like to put a bookmark, and that way I can look up the word right away. Great readers will use the questioning strategies before, during, and after reading to generate questions. Then they will refer to the text and answer those questions. Finally, they will include evidence from the text with their writing and speaking to make connections. This is how you will develop your ideas and form an opinion about the text. Questioning is essential to make your opinions get backed up by evidence. Now on to making connections. There are 3 types of connections. Number 1, connect to yourself. Number 2, connect to another text. That could also be a movie. And number 3, connect to the world. Here are some great examples we should be using in our work from now on. When we are making text-to-self connections, we can use "this reminds me of my own life" and then give an example. Please pause the video and write down these sentence starters to help you in your homework today. Now, what better way to put this into practice than to read something? So first, you will need to open the Hub and download the worksheet titled Making Connections. I have posted the instructions, a voiced-over version, on the Hub as well that you can listen to. Make sure you follow all of the instructions and submit your work for tomorrow. Thank you and have a great day.